Hi friends, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Alyssa. Today we are talking about meal prep, and I'm going to share my 5 favorite meal prep containers. I personally think that these 5 are the best meal prep containers out there, and what I love about them is that they are all glass and therefore non-toxic. So I'm going to share why I love each of them, how I use each of them, and of course, as always, links will be right down in the description box. I also will link the full meal prep playlist that I have down below. We do a lot of meal prep on this channel, so I'll link that down below for you as well, and you can see kind of some of these containers in action. So without further ado, let's get started. All right, so my very first one is to buy a set of glass lock containers. Glass lock containers are awesome. They seal really, really well. And what I love about the set that I bought is it has a bunch of different containers in one set. So you get 9 different containers, and they kind of stack or they nest. So they're great for storage. And I also love the tops. They literally lock onto place. You don't have to worry about them leaking. You don't have to worry about them being in a lunchbox or a bag, and they keep things really airtight. So I would definitely recommend buying a set of that if you have not purchased any meal prep containers. That is absolutely where I would start. I think it's a great investment. It's not even that pricey, and they'll last you forever. The second meal prep containers that I recommend are the PYREX stackable containers. I don't actually know if that's what they're called, but that's kind of what I think of them as. They're essentially thin containers that are stackable in the fridge. So I love these for salads. I love them for quinoa dishes. I love them for things that are a little bit thicker. They're also great for a kind of chicken, rice, that kind of thing. So if you were to divide and have different kind of layers, I guess that would work really well. But what I love most about them is how thin and kind of easy they are to store. So they stack really well. They can slide right in your fridge. They don't take up a lot of room in a bag, and they just work really well. The thing I would say that isn't as great about these is that the top isn't maybe quite as secure as the glass lock one. So I don't know if I would just take it and throw it in a bag, and if it maybe got tilted or twisted, I don't know if it would leak. I haven't had problems with that, but it's definitely not locking on there. It's kind of just a Tupperware lid that kind of just goes on like a regular Tupperware. But like I said, they're great for storage if you are limited in space. They also nest really well in a cabinet if you want to do that. And I just think they're really practical, and I really definitely recommend them. The third one is one that I don't actually personally use on my own that much, but I think if you were somebody that's going to the office every day or you're going to school every day, I would say that these are a really, really great option. They are the divider glass containers. So you've probably seen me use these in a few of my videos, but essentially they have 2 different containers in them, and you can put something on one side and then another thing on another side. So what I love to use these for is something where I don't necessarily want my vegetables mixed in with whatever I have here. So for example, the video that I'm immediately thinking of that I use these in is the quinoa curry. I had the curry on one side, and then I served it with some sauteed spinach. And for some reason, I just wasn't feeling like I wanted those things mixed together. Sometimes you don't want things mixed together. You want to have 2 separate items. So this container option is really great because it's one container, but it gives you those 2 separate spaces. I would say that these don't stack quite as well, so they definitely take up more space in the cupboard, but they do have the glass lock top, so they are more leak proof. And all of these glass containers are also oven safe, which is great, or microwave safe. So you don't have to worry about nasty toxins getting into your food when you heat them up because they're glass. The fourth thing that I recommend is mason jars or ball jars. I think that these are one of the best meal prep containers that you can possibly have. Not only are they really inexpensive, they're super affordable. You can usually buy them at a grocery store singly for $1, but they also have a ton of different sizes, and I think that they have a lot of different uses. So I personally use mason jars in my pantry to store things like nuts and seeds and grains and things like that, but I also use them for food storage and for food prep. So I love the giant mason jars, like the quart-sized mason jars for things like soups and smoothies. I love the smaller ones for things like dressings or little snacks. I also do overnight oats in them. I do overnight quinoa. I do cooked quinoa. I do chia puddings. I use mason jars all the time for meal prep, and I think that they are really, really great. The one thing that I would definitely recommend is if you do decide to do mason jars, to get a bunch of mason jars, I would try to stick to the same size mouth through your whole mason jar collection if you can. So either go with wide mouth, which is what I would recommend, or go with the narrow ones, because then your tops are all interchangeable. And then I also recommend replacing the metal tops with plastic tops if you can. I personally find that the metal tops rust really easily, especially if you toss them in the dishwasher. So I would say that you can just get a plastic one on Amazon. You can get a set of them. I just replace all of my metal ones when I can, and it just helps them like stay good for longer, I guess you could say. And then finally, the fifth one is stasher bags. So I love stasher bags. I think that they've become pretty trendy, but for good reason. They're basically silicone bags that are sealable. They're basically like a reusable Ziploc bag. I personally use stasher bags for my snacks, things like energy bites, smoothie packs. I use them for travel all the time. I have my tea in there. I have my matcha stuff in my stasher bags. I just love them. I think they're really great. That being said, you don't necessarily have to go with the brand Stasher. There are now other silicone bags out there. I'm sure you can look on Amazon. I just think this company has a reputable brand name, and I think they make really high quality products. And they also have a bunch of different sizes, which I really like. So they have the sandwich size, they have a larger size, and I think they're great for like on the go snacks. I wouldn't say that they're great for a meal necessarily, because I don't personally want to eat my meal out of a bag, but if you made sandwiches, they'd be really good. But things like salads and that kind of thing, I don't think you can really use them for. So I do think they're great. I think that they are last on my list just because they're not quite as functional as some of the other items on this list, or especially for like meals, but they are really great if you have snacks, if you want to bring stuff like that to the office. They're great to store in the freezer, great to store in the fridge. And I've had no problem either cleaning them or them breaking down at all. So I really recommend them. I'll link the ones that I have down below because I think that they're a great addition to your kitchen. And that's my list, my 5 best meal prep containers. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I also wrote a blog post to pair along with this video, so I will link that down below for you. It kind of details all of the ways that I use each of the different jars and containers. I give specific links. Product links are also going to be down in the description box, but the blog post just goes in more detail. So if you want a little bit more detail about this, recipe ideas, things like that, definitely check out the blog post. It's linked right down below this video. And if you have any meal prep questions, if there's any more meal prep content you want to see or anything like that, let me know. I want to start doing more of these videos that kind of talk about what's inside my kitchen instead of just sharing recipes. I know that you guys love recipes. I love recipes, so I'm going to continue to share those, but I think that it's also kind of helpful when you see some of the gadgets that people use, the tools, the pans, the appliances, things like that. So I want to kind of take you more inside of my kitchen and give you kind of more insight into things that go beyond just the actual recipes. So if that is something that you would enjoy, let me know if there's specific topics you want me to cover, because I definitely want to make sure that I'm giving you what you're interested in seeing. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thanks for watching. I always appreciate you being here. You are the absolute best. If you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe before you go, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.